Welcome one, welcome all, and welcome to an honest review of 2018's The House That Jack Built. Oh my god, there's a lot to fucking pick apart here. Kofi, pick it apart with a little brief introduction, please, about what this film is.
We're following a guy called Jack, who's a failed architect and a serial killer. Well, we see 5 of his murders as flashbacks while he narrates them to another man called Verge. We see all of the killings in like proper extreme graphic detail, and we also get a little bit of a crazy ending, don't we? Should we get like into the initial kill?
I mean, that's a good place to start, isn't it? Because starting on like the 4th would be weird as fuck, wouldn't it? So
the first kill happens as kills do.
Wow,
it does, and
true.
it's a woman whose car's broken down.
Uma Thurman, innit?
Yeah, so she gets picked up by Jack, and she just goes on and on and on about him murdering her and how he should do it if he was really a murderer, which I think is quite a weird attack to defend type tactic. And just made me really want to see her die anyway. But he does it in the exact way that she predicted.
And it's a brutal hit as well.
It is. It's sudden, isn't it?
So ridiculous.
It feels real. And the
Fucking
hole that it left in her head as well was quite graphic. It looked like, I guess, a wound like that would look, right? It was very...
Every single thing about this film was as realistic as you could have imagined, I think.
He kills her, and then we get this like speech from him, right, where he says the old cathedrals often have these like sublime artworks hidden away in the darkest corners for only God to see, and the same goes for murder. Just let it marinate. That's such a beautiful quote, but very like disturbing at the same time.
Agreed. And there's a few like sort of times throughout the film where Jack is talking to Verge, and he's like having loads of conversations about like artistic influence in why he's a killer, and some of the analogies, like the cathedral one, are brilliant.
He's really, really interested in art in general, isn't he? He progressively gets more artistic with the way he murders people, and we find out he's got OCD as well, so there's a few more things, but he's like, I like art, and this is my way of expressing myself properly and truly.
It almost gave me like Greek mythology vibes, where he was like talking to a higher being to discuss his life choices and why he made them, and it felt like he was almost like trying to justify these like horrible acts that he committed by using art as like leverage, basically, to explain it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it sets Jack apart as like just a really interesting character. I think that Matt Dillon, the actor who plays him, does a really, really good job with the role.
Just so horrific. I wanted to see what happened, and the second one, he gets in some woman's house by pretending to be an insurance agent and then strangles her. It's realistic. You stay on her for the duration of it, and he pulls away, and then she wakes up again. She can't fucking breathe, and then her neck starts to swell up with blood. It was horrific. The whole scene was centered around the audience experiencing her death.
He sort of like has a bit of a cry. He's like, oh fuck, what have I done? Like, I'm so sorry, I'm really sorry. And then it's just like, you know what, fuck it, I've come this far, have this, you cunt. And then puts the knife through her heart. And it was just really brutal. There actually are a couple moments in the film that are genuinely funny, like dark comedy, because like the woman he strangles, like a police officer comes around the house to like talk to him. Thankfully he's able to like talk himself out the situation and drive his car off, but he's got like the body in a body bag attached to his tailgate and just drives with the fucking thing attached, pissing blood out onto the road to this really super jazzy funk song that's like really upbeat. And I love all of the incidents for the fact that they are slow burn, but the entire burn is tense, and you know something bad's gonna fucking happen, and when it does happen, it's worse than you possibly could have thought it ever would be.
Every single one is different and then worse than the last one.
I think it's probably time to talk about the worst one. It's the family picnic. You never see shit like this because no one's got the balls to try it. The incidents take place over a course of 12 years, so by the time we get to this incident, Jack's well on path to being a serial killer. He's killed multiple people. Now he's got like a girlfriend, and the girlfriend has 2 sons. He takes them all out on a hunting trip, but he's like, it's not hunting. I don't like the term hunting. It makes me think of ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. And And then what he actually does, none of us actually really want to talk about it.
Oh no, I really do.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
You take it, Stu, you take it.
Well, so then he just snipers one of the kids, right? And blows his fucking leg clean off.
His entire leg just fucking separates from the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the mum comes out from behind cover to go and, comfort the child, and obviously, realises he's just been fucking blown apart. And so while she's doing that, he just snipers the other one in the head.
Oh, Jesus, that was rough. You see the fucker through the lens.
Yeah. And then it gets really twisted. He's basically now at the picnic, and he's forced the mother to be there, and he's propped the kids up like they're eating the picnic with him. And then he forces the mum to feed pie to the corpses just to appease some childhood memory of him not being allowed a big enough slice of apple pie when he was a kid.
And you see everything head on, all of it.
He basically tells the mum to pick her favourite number. She picks a number, and then he immediately starts counting down from that number.
12, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the time she has to escape, and she kind of just sort of staggers away because she's in shock. She's obviously devastated. As he's counting, he's just climbing the sniper tower again and just snipers her and goes down, and ultimately she's been shot, and you see her go down, but she's obviously crawled away, finds a bit of blood on the floor, and so then he starts hunting it like a wounded deer, and eventually leads her to her trying to hide in a trench. From point blank, just snipers her in the back and kills her.
Like the way her body jolts,
and
the sound of the shot, it made me jump, because it's like, fucking hell, I actually felt the force of what that bullet did to that body.
Yeah, it's so brutal and raw. Matt Dillon, he's just so perfectly cast for this role, isn't he? The way he looks.
Yeah, he really is.
The acting, it's genuinely, he plays the role so well. It's just, you genuinely at this point do feel how twisted this guy is, can't you? And the raw nature of what he's doing.
So that's, Jesus, the picnic scene with. Anyway, do we talk about the Dan Blonde scene now?
Dan Blonde, simple blonde.
Incident 4, where he just goes to some girl's house and just verbally abuses her. Just calls her stupid and a simpleton, and
he's like, I've murdered 60 people, and she's like, alright, you weirdo. Anyway, fucking hell, he cuts her tits off. Literally cuts her tits off. And then puts one of them on the windscreen wiper of the policeman's car. The second tit, he makes it into a wallet.
Oh, very Leatherface vibes on that,
Fucking leather tits.
It leads to where Jack's got loads of just people in his freezer lined up with their heads pressed against each other. And his plan is he's going to try and collateral them all with a single bullet. And it turns out the bullet he thinks is a Full Metal Jacket isn't a Full Metal Jacket bullet. And the way he finds out is because the first bloke in the chain is ex-military. And he's like, I'm sorry, sir. No, that isn't an FMJ. And he's like, oh, fuck, I need to go back to the ammo shop now. He goes to the ammo shop and goes full Karen mode.
The guy in the fucking shop, man, he knows. As soon as he comes in, he's like, why do you need a Full Metal Jacket bullet? I don't need to tell you that, you fucking bellend. Give me my bullet now. And he's like, oh, fucking shit. I'll go find one somewhere else instead. And he goes to some random caravan in the middle of the woods.
It's like Nicolas Cage's fucking mate's caravan. Goes to get his crossbow. Bill Duke.
And the guy in there is like, yeah, the police know that you've robbed someone. He's like, oh, yeah, fine. I've robbed someone. That's absolutely fine. No worries. What I'll do is I'll just give up now. There's no problem at all. I'm just going to give up. Bang! He stabs him in the bottom of the mouth.
Yeah.
Then it's like his best mate or something, isn't it?
Well, not anymore.
Well, yeah, fair. Very fair.
And he finally takes his bullet back to the sniper.
Trying to shoot these people with a sniper, but realises he's too close, so he has to move back to focus. Figures out how to open this door by using the giant metal pole. Moves his gun back, and he's like, this is absolutely perfect. Who the fuck are you hiding in my freezer?
And it turns out the old nonce has been in the background for every single murder, and just shows up to ask one question, which was,
haven't you built your house, Jack?
It's not Dr. Nalsarden.
You have 30 days to build your house.
Perfect.
Amazing. But yeah, this old Victorian nonce is Verge, the man that is being talking to the whole film. Yes, this is he. And, oh, Jesus, the fucking house that Jack builds.
The police come and like laser burn a hole through the freezer door. Jack's through this other door now anyway, talking to this strange guy saying, you were supposed to build a house, weren't you? And Jack's like, oh, that's so true, but I couldn't because of my OCD and shit, and like I just need it to be absolutely perfect. I need the right materials. And Verge is like, you know what, mate? You got the materials, just find the right ones and build it. And he's like, boom, fucking sound, mate. You know what I'll do? I'll make a house out of all of my frozen bodies.
That image that you first see that house is just unlike anything I've seen in a horror film.
Because there's obviously more bodies than we see incidents.
Because he says, doesn't he? He says, well, I've only cherry-picked 5 incidents for you. I haven't told you, like, everything I've ever done. So this is the moment where we say, oh my God, how many times you've done this? To then just build a house suspended from the ceiling out of frozen corpses. And there's, like, other kids there that we haven't seen.
And then he's like, Jack, follow me here. Inside the house that you have just built, there is a hole in the ground, and we're going to go down it, which takes us to hell.
What do you think about this, Stu?
Yeah, like I said earlier, like, I kind of read into the guy early on that Jack was perhaps dead and he was trying to explain his life choices. And so then they go on this, like, biblical journey together, basically descending into some form of, like, artistic hell, I guess. We even see them crossing what appears to be the River Styx before they are met with some kind of lava river, right? And he tries to cross it like Gandalf and his buddies.
It is like the Mines of fucking Moria, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, yeah.
It's the Balrog Bridge.
But although the guide, I guess, tells him that if he crosses, there's stairs and that would lead him into the darkest depths of hell, he describes it as. He slips, he falls, he ends up spiraling into the deepest pits of hell. Whilst it was a little bit weird and unnecessary and took a very strange twist, for me it kind of summed up the whole film. He's obviously, deserved of the darkest depths of hell and where he truly belongs for these sick and twisted acts.
When you think of Verge, the character Verge, it's meant to be Virgil, the guide to hell and purgatory in Dante's Divine Comedy. If that's effectively his character, he is now guiding Jack through hell. I guess the thing, I would say that I thought that this detracted from where the film was going is because the film is so realistic in the way that the kills are done, in the way that Jack's mindset works, and the way he thinks about the world. And this suddenly shifts it into the supernatural and the paranormal, but also the spiritual as well. And I think it's because you've just spent 2.25 hours in the real world, or a very, very real feeling world, and then now we are taking a detour into a commentary on the afterlife and a commentary on your choices and your moral judgment and hell in general. It was just quite a sudden shift.
But I liked it. It was very raw, it was brutal, it was twisted. I liked the kind of morality and death kind of twist it had to it, or at least what I perceived it to be, and I kind of liked it. It was weird, and it took me in a direction I didn't expect, and it took a bit of a risk with where it went, which I think is really valuable in film these days.
Overall, I fucking love this film. It was just such a different experience, and that is far better than being conventional, vanilla, everything we've seen before repackaged with a new skin on. This wasn't that.
I do think it was an absolutely incredible film, filled with amazing acting, amazing special effects.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, that's good then.
And sorted and done.
Well, so overall, that was our honest review of the house that Jack built.
Which other Lars Von Trier film would you like us to check out? Please comment down below and we'll get right on it, because if there's anything fucking like this, I'd like to see it
Definitely.
and talk about it. Join us, please, next week for another installment of Friday at Fright Time. Of course, if you like this content or any of our content, the subscribe button should be hit if appropriate to you. I mean, it's not appropriate to you. It doesn't matter if it is or isn't. Just do it anyway, because it helps us.
Do it if you want to do it, and if you don't want to do it as well. And if you've decided that sometimes you want to press it, press the button. But if you sometimes don't want to press the button, also press it at the same time, please. Thank you very much.
Bit of a shit ass, wasn't it?
We're just structuring this review like the house that Jack built. Pretty solid content, confusing ending.
Yes.